Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we do thank you for attending this special event here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A big day for women's boxing, not only just here in this room, but around the world as well. And at this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a young lady who is the backbone of the IWBHF. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the founder and the president of the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame, Miss Sue Fox.
I'd like to welcome all of you here today. It is a great honor to be with all of you at this very special event. I'm thrilled to have it in conjunction with the Women's National Golden Gloves. Thank you, Bonnie Canino and Yvonne Reese, who puts on a fantastic amateur show every year. Yvonne, would you please stand? I can't think of a better place to have the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame than with two people more committed to promoting women's boxing. Little did I know when I came back into the sport in 1998, when I went live with WBAN, that it would eventually develop into having another entity, the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. The mission of our IWBHF is to celebrate the history, preserve the legacy and honor of the female boxers. But it is also to honor the men and women who work outside the ring, who have significantly contributed in the promotion and development of the sport. I'd like to take this time to thank the sponsors who really, without them, we wouldn't be sitting here today. The WBC stepped in and helped me tremendously. Jill, please stand up. I really appreciate what they have done for us. We had striking beauties that came in and did a lot. Please stand up. White Rock Boxing, who has supported women's boxing forever. Billy Stanek, I don't know where you're at, but you got to be somewhere here. Billy Stanek. He is an unbelievable supporter of this sport, and we really appreciate it. He also has Stanek Roofing, and both of them support the sport. We had Refresh Interiors Design right here. Would you please stand up? Did you see the really cool centerpieces on our table? Unbelievable. That came from him. But also, beside the sponsors, I would like to say thank you to all who supported us through advertisements and other types of helps. I could not have done this alone. Wanda was a tremendous help. Sam Cohen, our vice president. Dahlia Duran, who is at that table. If you guys would stand up, please. Sam. And Melissa Smith. Now, Melissa Smith, she's going to be a lot of help today in doing some of the presentations. Melissa, you're out here. Just go ahead and stand up. She wrote the best book in the world about women's boxing, called The History of Women's Boxing. In fact, I got a little jealous about it, but it's okay. I got through that. I'm just kidding, Melissa. But anyway, no, she really wrote a fantastic book, and she has very nicely put one of those books in each of the inductees' special little goodies. But also we have a couple pioneer boxers in the audience, and I would like to recognize, we have Barbara Buttrick. Would you stand up, please? Now this is the thing with Barbara, I will tell you. She's number one, one of our first inductees in 2014, but she fought Phyliss Kugler. And Phyliss Kugler, yes, and Phyliss Kugler is one of our inductees this year. We have 22 family members who came to pay tribute to their family member, Phyliss Kugler. They're over there. But we also have a 1970s boxer. We have Diane Clark. Where is she at? Diane? Diane is a fantastic. Now, when you guys think you did it all in the 90s and the 2000s, it didn't happen. She fought in 1970, and she's the first woman to fight in a title fight for a light heavyweight title. She fought Jackie Tonawanda in 1979 and defeated her. But we're not going to forget about our past boxers who are current boxers and our current fighters. We have Naomi Vasquez as one of our, you could stand up. Alicia Ashley, come on. Laura Ramsey. Susan Reno. Yvonne Reese. Bonnie Canino. Lisa McFarland. Melissa Hernandez. Zarika Fatuma. And I believe Chevelle Hallback's here, but I didn't see her. Where's she at? Is Chevelle here? Oh, well, she'll get here. She's always late. But anyway, I'm just kidding. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just joking. But what I would like to do, oh, is she there? Where's she at? I'm sorry, I'm blind, okay? Okay, but in closing, I just would really like to just say thank you so much for coming today. It means so much to me. I mean, really, you know, I'm a retired police officer, and I was telling somebody earlier, it takes really a lot to make me cry after being a police officer, but I will tell you that I really feel humble, I feel emotional, and if I don't get off here pretty quick, I'll probably start crying. So, but I would like to end this with something that I saw that was really extraordinary, and that was in September of 2014. The WBC put on the history first women's convention that had so many female fighters, champions, everybody. And they put together a video that I just fell in love with, and I asked Mauricio Suleiman if I could have permission to show this video. And I would like to close with this video because I think it just shares a lot of different sides of the sport. And thank you.
That was very nice. We hope you enjoyed that. A lot of boxing history in that video. We want to continue. I'd like to bring up somebody who'd like to say a few words to everyone. The media director for the IWBHF. Please welcome Ms. Dalia Duran.
Buenas tardes. Me toca hacerlo en español, así que me llena de orgullo estar con todos ustedes aquí presentes. Le quiero dar las felicitaciones personalmente a todas las damas del boxeo. Las quiero, está en mi sangre. Yo prácticamente nací en un ring y sé lo que se requiere para llegar hasta la cumbre más alta que existe en el boxeo. Tengo el privilegio de ser la hija de uno de los boxeadores más culminantes en el negocio, Roberto Manos de Piedra Durán. Gracias por estar aquí con todos nosotros, compartiendo este momento histórico, que espero que vuelva y se repita de nuevo, con la presencia de todos ustedes. Gracias a la prensa, gracias al WBC, gracias a todos ustedes por ser testigos de todo esto. Como soy familia de tradición, también quiero festejar con todos ustedes el anuncio de que la sangre de boxeo corre por nosotros. Y mi hermano Roberto Durán ha decidido continuar con todo esto. Se los agradezco de todo corazón a Laila, a Diane, a Phyliss, a Jeanine, a Terri, a Laura, a Ann Wolf. Muchísimas gracias por hacerme feliz cuando pelean. Los quiero.
Gracias, Dalia. Next up, I'd like to call up to the stage the Vice President of the IWBHF, Mr. Sam Cohen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sam Cohen, Vice President of the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm probably the only man in this organization, but it's a pleasure to be here. It's a hard job to follow Sue because she does such a great job and she does so many wonderful things to make this Hall of Fame possible. And I'm going to just mention a few things that she probably didn't say because maybe what I say is not glaring out there and people really don't know, about some of the things that I will talk about. There are several people I would like to thank for their support. Of course, Sue mentioned the WBC, Maurizio Suleiman, that is. Now, we have here today a former cruiserweight world champion, Tyrone Booz, and his lovely wife, Celeste, who made a 5-hour trip here this morning from Tampa. That's quite an event. One of our supporters was the Women's Club of Tivoli Lakes. And they're represented here by Sharon and Marty Gottlieb, Suzanne and Bob Bauer. You all can stand up when I mention your name. Joan and Irv Fisher, Ted Reyes, and Carol Meyer. And of course, thank you to my lovely wife, Harriet. We'll celebrate our 60th wedding anniversary next year in 2016. And now I just want to mention a special kind of thanks to the women who drove here from Washington, D.C. in support of Diane Dynamite Clark and the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. Some of these women who have spoken personally to over these past few days are Cassandra White, Krishan Johnson, Diane Clark, and another special lady, Evelyn McAdoo, who was here with her 16-year-old grandson, an amateur fighter, Jordan. Last but not least, the honored inductees, all of them here seated and present. And of course, we can't forget all the people that are attending this function. They deserve a vote of thanks as well. Give yourselves a real round of applause. I'm going to say something now on a little sad note, and please forgive me if I get a little weepy, but a very special dear friend of mine who was an Olympic gold medalist in the 1976 Olympics was just diagnosed with incurable lung cancer. And it'll probably, they said, and this was in the newspaper, he might have less than a year to live. I want to just please, if you will, say a special prayer for Howard. He's a great guy, and he was a fellow inductee 2 years ago in the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame when I was vice president of that organization. And now I just want to thank the people of the state of Florida and appreciate what they do to allow us to pay homage to all champions in all categories, living and deceased, crowned and uncrowned, and ultimately help us in our untiring efforts to bring about a place for all the world to visit and enjoy the likes of women's boxing. God bless the IWBAF, HF, and God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam Cohen. Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to introduce a young lady sitting in our audience who joined us this evening. She was a pioneer boxer who fought back in the 1950s. Actually, she had a fight against one of our inductees, Phyliss Kugler. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome up to the dais here, Miss Barbara Butrick.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I have to say it's such a great pleasure to be here at the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame second induction. It's great to see how well it's going, and thank you to Sue Fox and all her helpers for keeping things going like this. You want me to tell you how things were back in the 40s and 50s? Well, first I would like to say that my first sport was soccer. But back in the 1945, if you spoke of playing soccer, all you got was women don't play soccer. So, and I'm mentioning that because it's very clear in your minds just from this last few weeks how well that sport has developed. It took 70 years, but where it got to is so great. Back in 1945, for the girls' boxing, it wasn't very easy. So I switched from soccer because you needed 11, a team of 11, which I couldn't get together. And I'd been playing soccer in a muddy field one day, and I went home with one of the girls, and her mother says, "You don't come in here with these muddy shoes." And she threw a newspaper on the floor. And on that newspaper, it said Polly the Champ. And there was the story of Polly Burns, who used to fight on the boxing booths around 1915. So I thought I switched my sports to boxing because I was very keen on boxing also. And I bought a harness to make my soccer ball into a punch bag and got out into the backyard and started training with the local boys. So after that, I went up to London and I tried to get into the boxing shows, but no luck. they wouldn't hear of it. So I went on the boxing booths, the same as Polly Burns, and travelled around England and France. And I then came to the United States thinking things would be easier in 1952. And there were some opportunities, but very few, to get onto the shows. Right now, my title is the oldest women boxer. Now, would anyone like to challenge me for that title? So, anyway, back in the 50s, I claimed the Fly and Bantamweight Women's Championship. And that takes us back to 1957, when Phyliss Kugler was boxing. And as there were very few women, they didn't pay much attention to how much you weighed. So we were matched to fight for the Bantamweight Championship in San Antonio. But of course, the Texas Boxing Commission was pretty strict back then, and they weighed us in, and there was 23-pound weight difference. So they said to my manager, Mickey Riley, "What are you going to do about this?" And Mickey said, "Don't worry, we'll have them weighing closer at the fight time." So the commissioner says, "What are you going to do, Mickey? Cut the leg off of one of them?" Anyhow, we managed to get past that, and it was recognized as the Bantamweight title, and we fought, and I won that fight. But Phyliss was a great fighter, and I'm just disappointed that she didn't survive to be here tonight. And so I think if the present-day girls just keep on punching the way they are, we'll soon be recognized, the boxing community, the same as the soccer, and we'll have some. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Barbara. Barbara Bruchik, ladies and gentlemen. Right now we have some special awards to present as we recognize some of our very special guests here this evening. So I'd like to call up a young lady to present these awards. Here is author Miss Melissa Smith.
Good afternoon. It is truly an honor to be here. I'm a little bit awestruck. I spent about 3 years researching a history of women's boxing and lived with many of the fighters in this room, never having met them. So if you see tears welling a little bit, please pardon. To begin this afternoon, sorry, let me just get the mic adjusted so I don't make lots of noise. The International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame's first Recognition of Excellence Award will be presented to Dr. Martha A. Dodson. Dr. Dodson began her involvement with amateur boxing in 2000 at a local smoker, and as she puts it, the rest is history. That history is boxing's gain, as she has worked tirelessly ever since on behalf of amateur boxing. Her extensive career with youth athletics has included her participation as a Special Olympic coach and as a U.S. Olympic and Paralympic team physician. Of special note is Dr. Dodson's participation on USA Boxing's Women's Task Force. Their efforts led to the successful inclusion of women's boxing as an Olympic sport in 2012, along with the exclusion of mandatory skirts. Dr. Dodson figures in her 15 years in the sport. She's been in attendance at 177 events, totaling 10,700 bouts, and has performed over 20,000 physicals, along with helping a generation of kids who went on to become Olympians. Dr. Dodson is unable to join us today, so accepting the award on Dr. Dodson's behalf is Kavina Franklin. Please join her.
Thank you. I would like to share a few words on behalf of Dr. Martha Dodson. I served with her on the Women's Task Force of USA Boxing, and she messaged me this morning and asked if I would be able to share what she would have said were she here. Congratulations to all of the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame inductees for the many paths you walked down. And thank you for the doors you have opened for others. Thank you, Sue Fox and the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame for this recognition. It has been an honor to work with so many dedicated volunteers and to work for an even greater number of passionate athletes. I have had the privilege to share in your dreams, your struggles, your sorrows, your resurrections, and your triumphs. It has been a privilege to be a member of the boxing family, a family that has encouraged and challenged me towards excellence. I would like to express an additional thanks to my Golden Gloves family, who supported me this week without question when I needed to return home unexpectedly to support my El Paso family. My best to all of tonight's finalists. Thanks. And I'd like to just share a very short story with you. Dr. Dodson on the Women's Task Force was very passionate, and she was one of the leaders within our task force who strived for equality. We served on the task force together when Dr. Wu of the IWBHF Confederation wanted to implement mandatory skirts for women, amateur boxers. And as a task force, we felt that our voice was strong enough to make an impact. And today it is not mandatory. And we also helped USA Boxing come up with a way to support athletes like Clarissa Shields, who is our 2012 gold medalist, who also happens to be our only gold medalist from the 2012 Olympic Games. And athletes like Marlena Esparza, who is our bronze medalist, and other up-and-coming athletes. So thank you for sharing this moment with Dr. Dodson.
Our next Recognition of Excellence Award will be presented to North Carolina Boxing Hall of Famer, Coach Alvin E. Simpson. Since retiring from the military after 24 years of service in 1999, where he was head coach of the Fort Bragg boxing team, Coach Simpson has become a fixture in North Carolina amateur boxing. He has held many coaching positions from the regional to the national level. He has served as president of the North Carolina USA Boxing and as a coach for the Junior Olympics and the Silver Gloves. A longtime supporter of women's boxing, Coach Simpson was one of the coaches to lead the 2001 USA women's boxing team to the first World Games under the direction of 2014 inductee Dr. Christy Halbert. Coach Simpson's continuing support of female boxing includes his leadership role in women's national tournaments and his strongly held beliefs that women deserve equity in the ring. Please welcome Coach Simpson as we honor him today.
I want to say thank you for this presentation of the award. The first time I was ever really with the women's boxing, like they said, it was in the Women's World Cup tournament. The first night, Christy had me do bed checks. And during that bed check, we was in the hotel at Days Inn Suites. I went around to the rooms, knocked on the doors, and it just happened that one young lady came to the door with a cigarette in her hand. She came to the door with that cigarette in her hand. I said, "What are you doing with that cigarette? You're here in training. You know you're supposed to be in shape getting ready for this competition that we got going on." I said, "You need to put that cigarette out, get ready to get in bed," and so forth. By the time I went downstairs, I had found out that I had went to the wrong room, and they had called downstairs, "Coach, you went to the wrong room." As I continued on, going through the rooms, to look at the athletes to make sure that they were in bed. For a male coach, you have to be very careful with yourself, because as the young ladies did come to the door and say, "Coach, we're in here," and the attire that women wear at nighttime going to bed, I immediately went downstairs and said, "Christy, this is not a job for a man to be doing bed checks on women." So she was like, "Okay, Coach." So again, ever since that time, I enjoyed working with women. The outstanding accomplishments that has been going on since then, still striving and pushing that not only in 2012 that we had the first women in the boxing and also winning gold medals, but also for 2000, all the other Olympics that will be coming up, that we also have a strong face and a strong movement of women still participating in the Olympics, hoping that we can go past 3 weight classes and to be able to have all 12. I want to say thank you once again.
The International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame bestows its first Lifetime Achievement Award upon Jose Sulaiman in recognition of his achievements and the significant contributions he has made both to the creation of the modern era of female boxing and the subsequent popularity and success the sport has achieved around the world. His efforts have also established the WBC World Title Belt as the prized goal of female boxers everywhere. The legacy of his guiding hand is present today in WBC's continuing leadership in the sport, to include the first WBC Women's Boxing Convention held this past September in Mexico. It is also evident in WBC's strong commitment to the sport's growth and development internationally. Please join us in watching this loving tribute to the memory of Jose Sulaiman, prepared by the WBC. Accepting the award on behalf of Jose Suleiman is the World Boxing Council treasurer and longtime board member, close friend, and advisor to Jose Suleiman and now Mauricio Suleiman, Juan Sanchez. Please welcome him to the stage.
I'm going to be extremely brief. I pick up the wrong time to fight a very bad bout with bronchitis, so I can hardly talk. But on behalf of WBC, the Suleiman family, Mauricio Suleiman, and myself, I thank the International Boxing Women Hall of Fame for this recognition. Jose might not be, he could be seeing what happened here, but he might be fighting promoters up there and making changes and things like that. Knowing him, he's busy. He's very, very busy. Thank you very much.
I just want to announce that Chevelle Hallback, 5-time world champion, is now here. If she can. I'd also like to acknowledge a special guest, the former Family Matters star, Ms. Jo Marie Payton. Our first 2015 inductee this year is Terri Moss. Known as the Boss, her route to boxing ended almost before it began with a diagnosis of hepatitis C. Moss persevered, and ahead of ever putting on the gloves, she became, at the age of 34, a cut man to the legendary boxing trainer, Doc Kepner, appearing in over 20 pro fights. At the age of 36, having undergone a grueling course of interferon, Moss emerged healthier and stronger and propelled herself into the ring as a professional fighter, culminating in winning the vacant WIBF strawweight title at the age of 41 against Stephanie Dobbs, a fighter 15 years her junior. Since retiring from the sport, Moss has become an important voice in Atlanta boxing. She founded the Atlanta Corporate Fight Night, a white-collar charity boxing show that donates to such causes as the Wounded Warriors. She also owns the Buckhead Fight Club, where she trains young men and women in the sport, and most recently, working with the WBF, is helping to elevate women's boxing. I am honored to welcome Terri Moss to the podium, and will ask that she come up and speak and then have a seat. And then I'm also going to announce our other inductees and ask that they join us on the podium. So please welcome Terri Moss.
So it feels different up here than I thought. I have to say it's a huge honor. If to pardon my voice, it's always like this. My team is used to this by now because I yell a lot. And I've been yelling this weekend and this week as I've had fighters here fighting and doing a great job. My whole team. In the Women's National Golden Gloves, one of the best tournaments I've ever been to. Let's thank Bonnie and Yvonne, because we come here every year and it's the best. I also say I wish I was a little taller because I'm feeling this short thing over here. But, a friend of mine who also I trained and fought and won her match this week asked me earlier, she said, how do you feel, are you excited? I've heard a lot of that. Are you excited about being inducted? And I only can say, yes, I am. But the truth of the matter is, I'm so excited to be in this boxing and to be able to do what I love every day. I left a normal career to do boxing. I've been training, building a life in this world for 15 years now. And so it's as exciting as it is. I have to say that the people that I get to spend every day with, my boxing family, who I love, they know I love them. All they're mine. And my fighters, yeah, I love you, baby. All my gym and the people that I meet. I mean, it's so hard to compare anything to that when life can be so fulfilling when you can do what you love with the people that you get to meet every day that just, you can impact their life and they can impact yours. I can say only, is this an extraordinary life or what? Because the truth is, the podium's great, but the life is better. So it's kind of hard to say. I love this. It's fantastic. I'm so honored. But thank you to my people, my boxing friends, the family, all these wonderful women I've met in boxing. I can't even believe I can be in this room with you guys and have Laila Ali's beautiful face looking at me like, wow, that's cool. So I just have to say thank you for all of that. Another thing I wanted to say is I was here last year at the beginning of this Hall of Fame, and wow, it's about time that this happened. And not only that, to get to be here from the very beginning and be in the second class, inducted here with Laila and Ann. And is Ann Wolf here? Okay. I'm not saying anything about that. But I will say that it's a pretty extraordinary class. And this is really exciting to be here with all these great people. Jeanine, Garside, Laura Serrano. I mean, this is crazy. So, but one thing I noticed is last year, Christy Martin and Lucia Riker and all these wonderful women that were inducted, Bonnie Canino, Barbara Buttrick. There was a lot of talk about how hard it was and how hard it's been as a women to climb in the sport. And I can say that for me, I never expected an easy ride. And I never complained along the way because that's what it is, and it's okay. What that does is make us better and stronger and faster, and we work harder. And I think that women's boxing is even now on the rise. If you want to see where it's going, you look in the amateurs. You can see all the best techniques and some of the greatest trainers. There are women trainers everywhere opening gyms. We become every day now in the world of boxing. People know we're here and we're not leaving. So I just want to say that the future of boxing lies in us. We might have carried him through 2012. That's just my opinion in the Olympics. And so I'm just I want to thank the whole boxing community and say that the future is really bright. And I hope you guys will be here to support us for the next 100 years, because all the things that we ever wanted to do are going to happen, and they're happening fast. So keep your eyes open. That's okay.
Apparently, I was supposed to call up all the inductees first. Apologies. So may I please call up Jeanine Garside, Deirdre Dangerous Gogarty, Phyliss Kugler's family, that would be Jill Johnson, Laura Serrano, Sparkle Lee, and Laila Ali. Thank you. Apologies. Let's applaud. Our next 2015 inductee this afternoon is Canadian fighter and former WBC, WBO, WIBF, and WIBA World Featherweight Champion Jeanine Garside. With a professional career that spanned a mere 6 years, she gained... Oops. I call ya. Then you come on. With a professional career that spanned a mere 6 years, she gained prominence with such opponents as Chevelle Hallback and 2015 co-inductee Laura Serrano, whom she defeated and in speaking of it later said, "Your opponents in the ring, but comrades in the sport." Garside began boxing as an amateur in her native British Columbia after watching the legendary 1996 fight between 2014 inductee Christy Martin and 2015 co-inductee Deirdre Gogarty. Garside went on to win a succession of amateur titles, including the national championship and senior national championship in her weight class. After retirement, Garside has dedicated herself to raising her family. She also continues to give back to the sport she loves, working as a trainer at the Border Sitting Boxing Club in Windsor, Ontario. Please join us in welcoming Jeanine Garside to the podium.
Thank you, everybody, very much, and thank everybody for being here tonight. I want to congratulate my fellow inductees. It's very much a humbling experience to be up here and an honor to be up here. Sue, I want to thank you so much for making this happen for us. I didn't realize how important it is until I got here. I was probably doing dishes and folding laundry when someone said, you gotta talk to Sue, she's got some good news for you. And I was ecstatic, and I was completely elated. And from that time on, because I was told in December about this, from that time on, I've been reflecting ever since on the experience that I had in boxing. And, I kind of had put it in the past a little bit and have been focused more on, day-to-day activities. And for me to go back and relive the experience through different eyes and see the big picture of it was really awesome for me. And there's so many people that I need to thank that were with me through the entire experience. And, we got to thank our coaches, because we couldn't do it without our coaches and all the people that dedicate selflessly to the sport of boxing and to women's boxing. I want to thank, in particular, my first coach, in case he's watching, because I haven't seen him in many, many years, but he gave me the foundation that I needed to have success in the sport of boxing, in spite of what I thought might have been the way it should go. He kept me on track, and Rick Atkinson, I do thank you so much for everything you did for me. And I also want to thank Old Man Pete, who's since passed away, but he was a fantastic man, an encyclopedia of boxing, and he gave that to me, coached me in Calgary, and told me he thought I was the best thing since sliced bread, and that gave me a lot of encouragement. He also told me I couldn't beat Jamie Clampett with a gun in either hand, and I really wanted to prove him wrong about that. So God bless you, Pete. I know you're with me in my heart all the time, and to just take time to mention. We made so many bonds, so many great relationships in boxing, and one of the bonds that became very strong was one between me and my father, who was always my #1 fan, and he's with me at every fight, and he's with me here tonight. Dad, thank you for everything you've done for me. I want to take the time to thank my water boy and my husband, J.R. Larkin. The good Lord knows that he had to put up with a lot. We are feisty, fiery, demanding, powerful women. female fighters. And not always easy to put up with, but you do, and thank you. You understood everything that I was going through, and you had patience, and I appreciate it. In boxing, the experience, we have pioneers of women's boxing here today. I'm so grateful. It's been in our spirit. We have to do it. We want to do it. I was grateful. Like you said, I saw Christy Martin on TV fighting, and if you were in the room, I just lit right up. Like, we can do that? Women can do that? I want to do that. I'm going to do that. And that's what I was all about. And it was dedication, absolutely. And it was blood, it was sweat, it was tears. But along with that, came the glory and the experience that I had that was part of my spirit. It became who I am today. When I graduated from high school and I seen that on TV, I really didn't have a lot of direction in my life, but when I found boxing, it gave me purpose, it gave me direction, and it's made me the person that I am today. I feel so grateful. I just want to say congratulations to women's boxing as a whole for becoming part of the Olympics in 2012. I'm so grateful for that. That we were able to experience that. It didn't happen in my time as an amateur, but I was always an advocate of amateur boxing for women, and seeing the sport develop in that direction. And then as we blossom as professional athletes, we can really demonstrate what we're capable of in the ring. And we're capable of incredible things, but we couldn't do it without all the other people that put their time and effort into women's boxing. So I thank everybody for that. I thank my opponents who made it happen, my comrades outside of the ring, absolutely. And I just want to say, may women's boxing live on and live strong. Thank you very much.
Our next 2014 inductee is the other half of the undercard fight that rocked the boxing world, Deirdre "Dangerous" Gogarty. With an 18-5-2 record, Gogarty was a force to be reckoned with in the world of professional women's boxing in the 1990s. It was her March 16, 1996 six-round battle with 2014 inductee Christy Martin, however, that propelled her and women's boxing into the stratosphere. Born in Ireland, Gogarty fell in love with boxing, and when it became illegal, made her way to England to fight in underground smokers with the likes of boxing pioneer Sue Atkins, before settling in America to fight out of New Orleans. She became widely known for her ring prowess and was always considered a boxer's boxer, eventually winning the WBAN World Featherweight Championship in a bruising 10-rounder against 2014 inductee Bonnie Canino. Gogarty continues to give back to women's boxing and was the first female member of the Louisiana State Boxing Commission. In 2012, she published a memoir about her experiences entitled My Call to the Ring. I am honored to welcome Deirdre Gogarty to the podium for her remarks.
Thank you. I had a baby 8 months ago, so I was kind of worried about my baby belly, and I was trying to get it off for this because I knew I'd have to wear something slimming, So I almost felt like I was getting ready for a fight, and I started getting really nervous and really touchy with my husband, and I'm thinking, there's nothing I'm ever going to do again in my life as scary as getting in the ring with Laura Serrano, Christy Martin, or Bonnie Canino, so I need to just relax. But it's just amazing to be here. The song, Steve Miller's song with the lyrics that goes, sometimes you have to go through hell to get to heaven. Well, this is the heaven part. And it's just amazing how much has changed. And, after I fought Christy Martin, I got a letter from a little 12-year-old girl in Ireland, and she was trying to box, and she was having a really difficult time. And at the end of the letter, she says, well, maybe one day they'll even let us box in the Olympics. And that letter was from a girl called Katie Taylor, who's the 2012 Olympic gold medalist. So it's pretty extraordinary. But there's so many people to thank for being here. I wouldn't know where to start, but I just want to thank everybody that supports women's boxing and understands what we go through and how it has arrived today. But the one person I really have to thank most of all that I really wouldn't be here without was my manager, trainer, and coach, Bo Williford. And Bo, he's in the back there somewhere. I'm so glad he could be here. But, you know, this is for you, Bo, and thank you for getting me from a place where I wasn't even allowed to box all the way to a world title and to here right now. Thank you. And this award is definitely going to sit right alongside my world title belt, and thank you so much.
Our next 2015 inductee this afternoon is women's boxing pound-for-pound great and 8-time world champion Ann Wolfe. Known in the ring as Brown Sugar, Ann is renowned to this day for her first knockout of the then undefeated female boxing champion Vonda Ward in their May 2004 IBA and WIBA light heavyweight championship bout. A hard-punching middleweight, Wolfe put up a record of 24 wins over the course of her 8-year professional boxing career, with her only loss to Valerie Mahfoud, whom she went on to defeat in 2 title bouts. Since retiring as a professional fighter, Wolfe has gone on to a successful career as one of boxing's great trainers. She has worked with highly touted amateur and professional prospects, most notably middleweight champion James Kirkland. Ann Wolfe is unable to join us this afternoon. Wanda Bruce will accept the award on her behalf. Our 2015 Pioneer inductee this afternoon is Phyliss Kugler, who fought 2 of our 2014 inductees, living legend Barbara Buttrick and 1950s boxing star Joanne Hagan. Phyliss Kugler boxed out of South Bend, Indiana, under the tutelage of trainer Jeanine, who single-handedly brought women's boxing to South Bend. Kugler, a self-styled tomboy, appeared in amateur shows as Phil Kugler until someone figured out that she was a girl. She also performed in exhibition bouts in dresses and even appeared alongside Hagan on the Steve Allen Show ahead of their upcoming 1956 championship fight. Kugler won the fight against Hagan and went on to fight Barbara Buttrick. Their first bout was in Florida, which she fought to a draw. Their second meeting, however, on October 8, 1957, was momentous, as it was the first legally sanctioned professional boxing match between women in the state of Texas. Buttrick won the 6-round contest by decision, breaking Kugler's nose in the process, but Kugler, who never tired of her time in the ring, was proud to speak of it decades later. Please welcome family member Jill Johnson to the podium.
I've got a little help coming up. My brothers are going to accept with me. And we've got a little history to share with you. We brought her robe and her belt, and Marina's going to model that for you. Our mom, she loved a challenge. She never took the road well-traveled. Instead, she always blazed her own trail. And in the 50s, women weren't allowed to box. It was a man's sport. But she found a way around it, fighting under the name Phil Kugler. That was one thing about our mom. If somebody told her she couldn't do something, it was all the more she was going to do it. She really loved a challenge. She didn't know the meaning of the word quit. She was tenacious, fearless, and she definitely had the heart of a fighter. And today, as I look at all of these beautiful women, these inductees, I'm just so proud of our mom and the fact that she did her part in paving the way for these other women. Thank you, Mom. We love you.
I thought about the many people that my mom would have thanked today, and I'm sure that I will leave someone out. But I know that she would have thanked her manager, Johnny Nate, who recognized her talent and pushed to get her into every arena possible. I also would like to thank Tom Nate, Johnny's brother, a Golden Glove boxer himself. He was a lifelong friend of hers and her biggest supporter. Also, I'm sure if my mother were here tonight, she would have thanked her family for the inspiration and encouragement that they provided her throughout her career. I love you, Mom. Now my brother would like to thank a few additional people.
We'd also like to thank Sue Fox for her hours of dedication organizing this event, and the WBAN website, and women's boxing and the women involved in it. We'd also like to thank the board for selecting our mother for this honor. Thank you.
Our next 2015 inductee this afternoon is the great Mexican fighter, Laura Serrano. Her career not only helped pave the way for women to fight in Mexico, but set a standard of excellence for female fighters all over the world. At the time Serrano turned professional in 1994, it was illegal for women to box in Mexico. Her reputation, however, made it all the way to Don King, and she was offered the opportunity to box 2014 inductee Christy Martin in Las Vegas on a Julio Cesar Chavez card, a boxing idol of hers. Impressive and tough, Serrano boxed Martin to a 6-round draw. If that wasn't impressive enough, Serrano's second pro fight was for the WIBF lightweight title against 2015 co-inductee Deirdre Gogarty. Serrano proved her mettle again in the ring with a devastating body attack that resulted in a 7th-round stoppage. A true fighter's fighter, Serrano continued to contest great battles across her long and illustrious career against the best in the business, to include Chevelle Hallback, Melissa Del Valle, and Ella Nunez, and remains a true inspiration to fighters everywhere. Please join us in welcoming Laura Serrano to the podium.
Good evening. I have to make a confession tonight. I was doubting which speech should I read, the long one or the shortest one. I chose the second one, the shortest one. But I'm really, really honored. I feel very honored to be here. I'm very, very happy. Boxing has made me a woman who stands for her rights, no matter the cost and no matter the sacrifices. And thanks to boxing, I have become a better human being and a more complete person. I had a chance to travel to different countries and to meet different kind of people. Thanks to boxing, I have made great friends, including my former opponents. This evening, for example, Deirdre Gogarty, Jeanine Garside, Chevelle Hobach, they're here. Into the ring, we wanted to destroy each other and to pull out our heads. But at the present time, I consider them my friends. That's the beauty of this wonderful sport. I love boxing deeply. It breathes in every drop of my blood, in every drop of my sweat, in every tear I cry, and I cry a lot. Boxing has given me a lot of wonderful things. The great feelings when you accomplish a goal, when you taste the flavor of the victory, when you do the activity that you love with passion. But the biggest gift I have received from boxing is have gotten the chance to meet my husband, Oscar, and then to have my son, Fernando. I will always thank God and boxing for the awesome family that they have allowed me to enjoy. I love them very much. And thank you very much from the bottom of my heart to Sue Fox and to the people of the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame who have worked extremely hard with her and have made possible this unforgettable dream. It is a privilege that I will always appreciate, and it is an amazing experience that I will never forget. It will remain forever under my skin as an eternal tattoo inside my body. You guys from the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame, along with the boxing fans, have spilled a waterfall of sensational feelings in the blanket of my life. I wish I could share this moment with my husband and my son. They are in Las Vegas, but they are also here in spirit, sharing this huge happiness with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. God bless you.
Script problems. Okay. Our non-boxer 2015 inductee this afternoon is the first to be honored in the category of boxing referee, Sparkle Lee. Picking up the gloves herself is one of the first women to box at the storied Gleason's Gym when owner Bruce Silverglade opened the gym to women. Lee was quickly captivated by refereeing, and after a supervised training period, began her career as a licensed amateur boxing referee in 1983. After spending 12 years in the amateurs, New York State Boxing Commissioner Randy Gordon gave Lee the call to begin refereeing pro fights, but that was not meant to be. Gordon was out of his position, and while Lee continued to be consigned to the amateurs, she was welcome to join New York City's legendary Golden Gloves. Finally, in 2001, Lee became the first female licensed in New York State to referee professional fights. And in 2007, she earned that honor in New Jersey. Lee has won the praise in the ring and is one of the most respected referees in the business. Most recently, Lee proudly refereed the first sanctioned female bout fought with 3-minute rounds in New York State. Our next 2015 inductee this afternoon is women's boxing pound-for-pound great and 8-time world champion Ann Wolfe. Known in the ring as Brown Sugar, Ann is renowned to this day for her first knockout of the then undefeated female boxing champion Vonda Ward in their May 2004 IBA and WIBA light heavyweight championship bout. A hard-punching middleweight, Wolf put up a record of 24 wins over the course of her 8-year professional boxing career, with her only loss to Valerie Mahfoud, whom she went on to defeat in 2 title bouts. Since retiring as a professional fighter, Wolf has gone on to a successful career as one of boxing's great trainers. She has worked with highly touted amateur and professional prospects, most notably middleweight champion James Kirkland. Please. Ann Wolf is unable to join us this afternoon. Wanda Bruce will accept the award on her behalf. Our 2015 Pioneer inductee this afternoon is Phyliss Kugler, who fought 2 of our 2014 inductees, living legend Barbara Buttrick and 1950s boxing star Joanne Hagan. Phyliss Kugler boxed out of South Bend, Indiana, under the tutelage of trainer Jeanine, who single-handedly brought women's boxing to South Bend. Kugler, a self-styled tomboy, appeared in amateur shows as Phil Kugler until someone figured out that she was a girl. She also performed in exhibition bouts in dresses and even appeared alongside Hagan on the Steve Allen Show ahead of their upcoming 1956 championship fight. Kugler won the fight against Hagan and went on to fight Barbara Buttrick. Their first bout was in Florida, which she fought to a draw. Their second meeting, however, on October 8, 1957, was momentous, as it was the first legally sanctioned professional boxing match between women in the state of Texas. Buttrick won the 6-round contest by decision, breaking Kugler's nose in the process, but Kugler, who never tired of her time in the ring, was proud to speak of it decades later. Please welcome family member Jill Johnson to the podium.
I've got a little help coming up. My brothers are going to accept with me. And we've got a little history to share with you. We brought her robe and her belt, and Marina's going to model that for you. Our mom, she loved a challenge. She never took the road well-traveled. Instead, she always blazed her own trail. And in the 50s, women weren't allowed to box. It was a man's sport. But she found a way around it, fighting under the name Phil Kugler. That was one thing about our mom. If somebody told her she couldn't do something, it was all the more she was going to do it. She really loved a challenge. She didn't know the meaning of the word quit. She was tenacious, fearless, and she definitely had the heart of a fighter. And today, as I look at all of these beautiful women, these inductees, I'm just so proud of our mom and the fact that she did her part in paving the way for these other women. Thank you, Mom. We love you.
I thought about the many people that my mom would have thanked today, and I'm sure that I will leave someone out. But I know that she would have thanked her manager, Jeanine, who recognized her talent and pushed to get her into every arena possible. I also would like to thank Tom Nate, Johnny's brother, a Golden Glove boxer himself. He was a lifelong friend of hers and her biggest supporter. Also, I'm sure if my mother were here tonight, she would have thanked her family for the inspiration and encouragement that they provided her throughout her career. I love you, Mom. Now my brother would like to thank a few additional people.
We'd also like to thank Sue Fox for her hours of dedication organizing this event, and the WBAN website, and women's boxing and the women involved in it. We'd also like to thank the board for selecting our mother for this honor. Thank you.
Our next 2015 inductee this afternoon is the great Mexican fighter, Laura Serrano. Her career not only helped pave the way for women to fight in Mexico, but set a standard of excellence for female fighters all over the world. At the time Serrano turned professional in 1994, it was illegal for women to box in Mexico. Her reputation, however, made it all the way to Don King, and she was offered the opportunity to box 2014 inductee Christy Martin in Las Vegas on a Julio Cesar Chavez card, a boxing idol of hers. Impressive and tough, Serrano boxed Martin to a 6-round draw. If that wasn't impressive enough, Serrano's second pro fight was for the WIBF lightweight title against 2015 co-inductee Deirdre Gogarty. Serrano proved her mettle again in the ring with a devastating body attack that resulted in a 7th-round stoppage. A true fighter's fighter, Serrano continued to contest great battles across her long and illustrious career against the best in the business, to include Chevelle Hallback, Melissa Del Valle, and Ellen Nunez, and remains a true inspiration to fighters everywhere. Please join us in welcoming Laura Serrano to the podium.
Good evening. I have to make a confession tonight. I was doubting which speech should I read, the long one or the shortest one. I chose the second one, the shortest one. But I'm really honored. I feel very honored to be here. I'm very, very happy. Boxing has made me a woman who stands for her rights, no matter the cost and no matter the sacrifices. And thanks to boxing, I have become a better human being and a more complete person. I had a chance to travel to different countries and to meet different kind of people. Thanks to boxing, I have made great friends, including my former opponents. This evening, for example, Deirdre Gogarty, Jeanine Garside, Chevelle Hallback, they're here. Into the ring, we wanted to destroy each other and to pull out our heads. But at the present time, I consider them my friends. That's the beauty of this wonderful sport. I love boxing deeply. It breathes in every drop of my blood, in every drop of my sweat, in every tear I cry. and I cry a lot. Boxing has given me a lot of wonderful things. The great feelings when you accomplish a goal, when you taste the flavor of the victory, when you do the activity that you love with passion. But the biggest gift I have received from boxing is have gotten the chance to meet my husband, Oscar, and then to have my son, Fernando. I will always thank God and boxing for the awesome family that they have allowed me to enjoy. I love them very much. And thank you very much from the bottom of my heart to Sue Fox and to the people of the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame who have worked extremely hard with her and have made possible this unforgettable dream. It is a privilege that I will always appreciate, and it is an amazing experience that I will never forget. It will remain forever under my skin as an eternal tattoo inside my body. You guys from the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame, along with the boxing fans, have spilled a waterfall of sensational feelings in the blanket of my life. I wish I could share this moment with my husband and my son. They are in Las Vegas, but they are also here in spirit, sharing this huge happiness with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. God bless you.
Script problems. Okay. Our non-boxer 2015 inductee this afternoon is the first to be honored in the category of boxing referee, Sparkle Lee. Picking up the gloves herself is one of the first women to box at the storied Gleason's Gym when owner Bruce Silverglade opened the gym to women. Lee was quickly captivated by refereeing, and after a supervised training period, began her career as a licensed amateur boxing referee in 1983. After spending 12 years in the amateurs, New York State Boxing Commissioner Randy Gordon gave Lee the call to begin refereeing pro fights, but that was not meant to be. Gordon was out of his position, and while Lee continued to be consigned to the amateurs, she was welcomed to join New York City's legendary Golden Gloves. Finally, in 2001, Lee became the first female licensed in New York State to referee professional fights. And in 2007, she earned that honor in New Jersey. Lee has won the Praise in the Ring and is one of the most respected referees in the business. Most recently, Lee proudly refereed the first sanctioned female bout fought with 3-minute rounds in New York State. Please enjoy a video presentation of her remarks. Please join us in welcoming Sparkle Lee to the podium.
Need the glasses. I'm a grandmother also. Wow. Well, first I would like to thank God, who's the head of my life. Without my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, none of this would be possible. That's right. He's first. I would like to give a special thank you to Sue Fox and the International Women Boxer Hall of Fame for this huge honor. I'm extremely humbled and grateful for this experience. I would also like to thank and accept this award on behalf of my amazing family, friends, and my church, Memorial Baptist Church in Harlem. Just for a second, the crew that came with me could stand up just for a second. Show my love, show love. All right, y'all can sit down. They know I love them. You truly inspire me to continue to grow in myself and be best me that I can. I am just, I'm sorry. I love you guys. Hold on, I'm sorry. You guys truly inspire me to continue to grow myself and to be the best me that I can possibly be. And I'm not there yet, so I thank you always accepting me as is. When I first was told that I'd be inducted into the International Women Boxing Hall of Fame, I was for the first time lost for words. And for those of you who know me, that is very hard to do. To be put on such a platform in front of all these amazing athletes, I am very humble. I honestly never looked for recognition. I just worked. I never tried to be first of anything. I just wanted to do my best for my children, for my family, for my culture, and yes, for women. You women, us women. We are some extraordinary folks that no one can never deny. I hope you know that you are so special. And there's nothing, oh my God, I never thought I'd be so nervous. So this award does not just belong to me, but it belongs to us. Within my 20 plus years in the boxing arena, I have been blessed. I have been recognized to being the first female for the New York Golden Gloves, the first female licensed in New York and New Jersey as a professional ref, and the only female that referee a match in Yankee Stadium. But I'm not saying these things just to brag. Truth is, in most cases, being the first is not so glamorous. There's no pretty dresses. There's no red carpet. And it takes a while for anybody to put your name on a plaque. But being first for me means that there was a lot of doors had to be slammed in your face. There was a lot of people telling you can't do it. A lot of doubts, tons of fears. And you got used to hearing the word no when you just prayed for just one yes. But my message is simple. Say yes to yourself. Congratulate yourself. Recognize yourself that all that you do and all that you are. Who else could be a mom, go to work, pay the bills, help the kids with their homework, get in the boxing ring, knock somebody out, come home, cook dinner for your husband, and look in the mirror and say, I woke up like this. Nobody but a phenomenal woman. So it's okay if society hasn't caught up with it yet. But in the meantime, we must recognize each other. And that's why I respect this committee for what they're doing for boxing, for women especially. I would like to leave off by recognizing such an amazing young lady named Clarissa Shields. In 2012, she became the first American woman to win a gold medal at the Olympics in London. She was the only U.S. man or woman to even medal at all. When Oscar De La Hoya won the gold medal, he was called the golden boy in boxing. Well, what happened to our golden girl? Boxing has to give our ladies the respect they deserve. Many times I've been asked, what would be your dream fight to ref? Today, my dream fight would be a woman's 3-minute, 12-round championship bout, when the purse for the ladies would be no less than $5 million. That's right, I said it. So let's continue to be trailblazers in this game. You see, the question is, who's going to let us? The question is, who's going to stop us? Thank you all. God be the glory.
Our final 2015 inductee to introduce this afternoon is women's boxing legend, Laila Ali. Since she first burst onto the scene in October 1999, Laila Ali has been a force to be reckoned with far outside of boxing circles. Along with Jackie Frazier-Lyde, who quickly followed her into the ring, the pair of boxing daughters brought a new element into the sport, boxing royalty. Ali's defeat of Frazier-Lyde in their pay-per-view extravaganza in June 2001 defied the boxing pundits, who thought of it as nothing more than a publicity stunt. They both fought hard, and though Ali won, Jackie Frazier-Lyde proved a worthy opponent. After taking time off to rehab a shoulder injury, Ali got back into the ring with renewed focus. She began winning championship titles, and the rest was history, having amassed a slew of championships, including IBA, WIBA, and IWBF titles, and most importantly, the prestigious WBC Female World Super Middleweight title. Since retiring from boxing in 2007, Ali has gone on to a career that has encompassed Dancing with the Stars, philanthropy, and a love of cooking, among other things. Her latest venture for CBS Sports is currently in pre-production. Entitled We Need to Talk, Ali will join as co-host on the sports show hosted by women. We invite... I am truly honored to welcome Laila Ali to the podium.
Thank you. Sorry, I shouldn't have touched it. I'm a little taller than everybody else. About 6'4" right now with these heels on. How's everyone doing? Good. So everything has already been said, ladies. But I'm going to go on and put in my 2 cents. I'd like to thank Sue Fox, not only for starting the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame, but also for her website, WBAN. I remember when I started surfing the web, trying to find information on women's boxing 19 years ago. My God. Her website I found, and it became my #1 place to go. I was able to, like you heard in the video already, I didn't start boxing because of my father. I started boxing when I, like so many other of you women, saw Deirdre Gogarty and Christy Martin fighting in the ring. And just the thought that women fought, made me want to do it. So I had to start educating myself, and I was able to find out about different fighters and their records and watch tape, find out what people were saying about me. All that on Sue's website. It was so funny. People were so sad, all they had to say, they didn't realize I was taking note of all of it. So thank you, Sue, for all of the countless hours that you've put in, because I know that it takes so much work to document all of that. I want to thank the WBC and all of the sponsors here, all of the supporters of women's boxing. Thank all the other female fighters that are here. Some of you I know, some of them I don't, but thank you for being here and all that you do. I'd also like to thank my trainers that I've had along the way, Dub Huntley, Roger Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather, Buddy McGirt. They're the ones that helped make some of my fights look so easy when I got into the ring, because of all the hard sparring I did with a lot of the guys that they trained, a lot of elite fighters, and of course, my family. I have a new family now, a new husband, kids, so they weren't a part of this part of my life. I'm like, that's mommy's past life. My kids, it's funny, I look at boxing differently now, because I knew there was women that had children when I was fighting, and some of their kids had to sit ringside and watch them fight me and watch them, I have 21 knockouts out of my 24 wins, so most of them get knocked out in front of their kids. No, I'm serious, but I'm just saying that I can't imagine now. I can't imagine being in a tough fight and getting beaten up or getting knocked out in front of my children and to see them crying. And at the time, I was such a different person. I did not have a care in the world. Like, I had no it didn't make a difference to me, you know. I went into the ring with bad intentions, and I didn't worry about anybody who was in the audience, you know. And like I said, I think that I'm definitely a different person now. So I just want to say that I have so much respect for the women that can still fight and have children, because I'm definitely a much nicer person now. Now it's a little bit softer, still a fighter. I was always a fighter. But anyway, let me keep it short. Let me keep it moving. I got off track there. But I'm truly honored to receive this induction. Obviously, we all come from different backgrounds. My background very different from everyone else's. But one thing we all have in common is that we love to fight. So regardless of, you know, where you come from, who your family is, it doesn't matter. You know, we all understand each other. We know what it takes to get in that ring every day. We know what it takes to, you know, I've been beaten up too by men in the ring. That's where I got beat up, in the gym, you know, and only other fighters can truly understand, you know, what you go through as a fighter, and, you know, if you've made it to the top, what it takes to get to the top and what it takes to stay at the top, because everybody fights you even harder. You know, from the beginning, for me, it was always hard just having the last name Ali. You know, I was like a big target for everybody. But that made me better. You know, it made me stay ready all the time, because I knew that, you know, nothing was ever going to be easy for me. It never was. So, again, you know, I thank my father just for being the man that he is, the fighter that he was. I'm proud, like I said in the video, to have his same DNA running through my blood, you know, and all of the characteristics that I have in common with my father and my mother. She's always been very supportive of everything that I wanted to do. My mother was the first one I told that I wanted to fight. And she tells me now that her heart dropped. You know, she's like, oh, God, please, no. But she didn't tell me that then. You know, at the time, she was very supportive, and she knew before anybody that I was training to become a fighter. So I also thank her for that. You know, I've gone on to do many other things outside of boxing. I have many other interests and passions. You know, I, for one, am not interested in training fighters. I'm not interested in promoting fighters. It's not a passion of mine. I'm so thankful for those of you who are, because that's what athletes in general need, and especially women, you know, and if they can find guidance from other women who have actually done it and teach them and inform them. You know, I say that to people now who come up to me and say they want to fight. You know, I've seen a lot of people come in the gym and say they want to fight, and they get in that ring and they spar and they change their mind, because it's like, once you get hit and how you react to it, that's when you know who really wants to be a fighter or not. But one thing I always tell them is to surround yourself by people who actually take you seriously as a female fighter, and you know, and who are going to support you. So thank you all who continue on that path and are passionate about it, because I think that's really important. I too am very excited that women's boxing is in the Olympics now, that girls have an opportunity to fight for this country and then move on to do other things in life. And you know, no matter what it is that you do in life, I think it's important to have good character, you know, and have courage and have confidence and all of those things, and never worry about what's going to come of it. You know, we all have to focus on being the best that we can possibly be, and then you don't really have to worry about the rest. You let the chips fall where they may. So, like I said, I've gone on to do a lot of other things, but boxing will always be my first love, always. You know, I was a fighter before I started boxing. People don't realize that. I was, you know, and it's not a good thing, but I was a street fighter. But I've always had that in me, regardless of what people think. You know, I may not look like a fighter, but I've always been one. I got into trouble growing up. I was in juvenile hall for 3 months when I was a teenager. People don't realize that. So that's where a lot of my toughness came from, you know, and a lot of the girls who have fought me, met me, dealt with me the week of the fight, that was always the most fun. The week of the fight, being in the same hotel, you know, seeing each other, having, I don't know about you guys, but that was the most fun for me. Maybe I'm a little bit of a bully, but anyway, back to what I was saying. Thank you all. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to go out later and watch the amateurs fight, and I appreciate this, and Sue, thank you so much. All right.
I will ask our inductees to remain on the stage as I invite Jake Gutierrez back to the podium to do our last two appreciation awards. Jake?
Before I
mention the next two awards that we have, our appreciation awards. How about a round of applause for these lovely ladies, the well-deserved recognition they've received today. Congratulations to all of you. And of course to Ms. Sue Fox over here, who, what can you say? Thank you, Sue. We do have two more awards to give out, the appreciation awards. The first goes to a gentleman, Jose Morales. Now, Jose is a member of the National Guard and a 23-year veteran of the United States Armed Forces. A very special time in his life at that time was probably bad, but as he looks back on it, he can say that he was a part of it and should feel proud. He is one of the very first responders at Ground Zero on September 11th. And he has been recognized for his work with the military, for working continuously, trying to help everybody, and he's always there when asked to be. He shows up when he doesn't have to be there. And he's always been able to help people in every way possible, so we'd like to honor Mr. Morales with a special award. Jose Morales.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for being here today, especially when 9/11 happened. My unit, we just got back from Germany, and when the first plane hit the World Trade 1, I was able to get in there, and we took 22 people out of there. And it was a rough time of my life because at the time, I was supposed to fight that day on the Bernard Hopkins and Trinidad card at the Garden, and my boxing career came to an end because I got put on active duty orders again. I'm so honored because I followed boxing for a long time. I was in the fight game for a long time. My career was great. And my legend of all was Laila's father. He was the greatest to me. And to see her father come to Ground Zero and give me a hit, it was her father and Reggie Jackson came down just to shake my hand in Ground Zero at the podium. It touched my heart. It was better than winning the title. Just knowing I was able to be there and do something for my country. It did cost me, for a couple of years, I couldn't get back in the ring because I wound up in Afghanistan. And when I came home, come to find out that I had mesothelioma stage 2, and they had to take half of my right lung out. So my career was over. But I am so blessed with friends like my brother John Bayless, his family that supported me, my wife, that were there for me. So thank you so much for this honor.
Once again, Jose Morales. Our next appreciation award goes to the WBC in appreciation for all they've done for female boxing and also what they've done to help out with this event as well. Accepting on behalf of the WBC is Miss Jill Diamond.
I am so proud to be here today, and just when everyone was coming in today and gathering in the lobby, and I was looking around how beautifully everyone was dressed, how much love there was in the room, it just moved me so much, and I want to thank you, Sue, for putting this all together, for doing what you've done for so many years, for being the icon of the sport that you are. It just moves me that you've allowed us to be a part of this, the WBC, and share it with you. Mauricio couldn't be here today. He really regrets it. As the son of Jose Suleiman and as the father of a young daughter, he's dedicated to the fact that gender should never be an obstacle in somebody's success, that we all have to move together to make the playing field fair. The WBC has committed itself to that. They say that boxing is an individual sport, but we are the team. boxers, officials, trainers, coaches, writers. We have to move the sport forward. And to do that, just like these women up here, every time you take somebody with you. And I promise that the WBC will be on your side and that the future will be bright. We've got to do it together, and we will. Thank you. Mauricio wanted to make sure that Sue walked away with something too.
This was a very special day, ladies and gentlemen. Did you enjoy it? Did you have a good time? I'd like to thank Sue Fox for having me host this today. I was very greatly honored when she called me. I accepted it immediately. It's to me to be up here on stage with all these great women fighters, these champions, these members of the 2015 class in the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame. I enjoyed it, and I'm sure you all did too. Just to close up, we just want to remind you that at 7 p.m. over in the Panorama Ballroom will be the finals for the Golden Gloves. So, of course, everybody's invited to go over there and check that out and have a good time as well. So again, on behalf of the IWBHF, the International Women's Boxing Hall of Fame, we thank everybody for your attendance. We hope you enjoyed it, had a great meal, and we'll see you again next year. And don't forget, we will have a photo opportunity. We'll get all the girls up here together for the photo opportunity. Thank you all very much, and good night, everybody. Thank you.